Hershiser bobblehead as the Dodgers and Padres wrap up this series. The Dodgers going for a series win in the heat of this division race. It's some room up here today. Check him out, though. It's the quietest I've ever heard him. He's down in the field right now getting ready to throw out the ceremonial first pitch on a special day here at Dodger Stadium. His son Jordan will catch the ceremonial first pitch, and he's going to come back up here and join us in just a moment for what is a big game, because aren't they all at this point? The Dodgers a game and a half ahead of the Rockies, having split the first two games of this series, while the Rockies have gone down to Phoenix and rebounded from the sweep here at Dodger Stadium to beat the Diamondbacks over the first two games of that series. They'll play at 1:10 today. Zach Godley for the Diamondbacks and the ace Kyle Freeland for the Rockies. Down to the field now. Here's Alana Rizzo, brought to you by El Pollo Loco.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. I had a pretty good view of Oral Hershiser's first pitch. It looked like it was a strike. Jordan Hershiser telling him to keep that front shoulder in front of him. And now we're looking at Hyunjin Ryu to make sure that he gets the series finale against the San Diego Padres. Before we look ahead to the Arizona Diamondbacks, Dave Roberts has set the rotation for that series on Monday. It's going to be left-hander Clayton Kershaw going up against left-hander Robbie Ray for the D-backs. And then on Tuesday, I love when this kid pitches, right-hander Walker Buehler. He's going to go up against the right-hander in Matt Cook. And then on Wednesday, Ross Stripling getting another start in the rotation. He's going to go up against former Dodger right-hander Zach Greinke. Joe?
All right, Alana, another big series on deck. Let's see, did he throw a strike? You bet he did. Tailing action over the inside corner. Hyunjin Ryu throws the first pitch of the ball game in just a moment as the Dodgers go for the series win and into the final week of the regular season. Really cool moment just a few moments ago. Chase Utley honored by this Dodger Stadium crowd as he announces to be the final regular season home game that he plays here, and a standing ovation, and more importantly, a hug from his oldest son.
Well, the whole team was out, of course, for the beginning of the game, but they were out and on their feet for Chase Utley. He has made a huge impact here as a Dodger.
Take a look at the lineup for the Padres on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. It's Will Myers to lead things off. Then Franmil Reyes. Hunter Renfroe bats third. He's homered in each of the first 2 games of this series. Eric Hosmer, Francisco Mejia, and Freddie Galvis through the heart of the order, with Margot in center and Corey Spangenberg at second. Hyun-Jin Ryu coming off maybe his best start of the season, at least given the context, opening that series against the Rockies on Monday, Oral, with 7 scoreless innings.
We've always talked about this guy could throw strikes right out of bed. He comes off the DL. One of the most impressive things has been his location. The cutter has been devastating, and he might not throw quite as many today to this lineup, but he's got other weapons, of course, the changeup, the curveball, and the fastball. So I think we'll see all the different weapons from Ryu, but the one thing that he is a pitcher, and he reads situations.
Yeah, we have the perfect day at the perfect place here. 78 degrees, light blue skies above, final regular season home game. And for the 6th consecutive year, the Dodgers leading baseball in attendance and looking for a 6th consecutive division title. Off we go with a breaking ball that misses to Myers. It's 1-0. San Diego taking the opener of this series 5-3 on Friday. The Dodgers coming back last night with a 7-2 win. Behind 7 innings from Rich Hill. On this 1-0, a swing and a miss at a change, 1-1.
I mentioned that Ryu might not throw as many cutters today because this is a young, aggressive team. So the softer stuff might work compared to the cut fastball into the righties. There's one right there, cutter or the slider. But with a young, aggressive team and, you know, getting down to the end where a home run's going to feel really good to cap off your season, you can scout the opponent on what their desires are right now. And I'd say the inner half to these righties, these guys might be flying out and putting some barrel on it.
He's home with a 1-2, and this is down and away, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, the cutter, he threw 34% of the time in his last start, which was the most that he's ever thrown it.
But to a team that needed to win, more professional at bats, trying to have total plate coverage, I think it was a really good pitch for him, and he was locating it really well.
2-2. Got him at the knees. Strikeout to open the day for Hyun-Jin Ryu.
Right fielder, number 32, Franmil Reyes.
Looked a little bit like your ceremonial first pitch, big fella.
Boy, we had so much going on today. It was fantastic with Nuke and Garv and Fernando going in on the legends. You have Utley's last home game, a first pitch, and I got to wear a jersey with my mom's name on it, which is absolutely awesome to honor her. So, yeah, we've had a lot of excitement already. We need a Dodger win.
As Franmil Reyes stands in, Ryu comes home and misses. 1 ball, no strikes. He had a great time getting back up here.
They held the elevator.
Sweet.
Yeah, I felt like Vince Scully. Someday it'll be like feeling like Joe Davis.
No, stop it.
You've got 60-some years.
Here's a 1-0 and a swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, Ryu's always been good against these Padres. 9 starts against San Diego in his career, and he's 6-1 with an ERA around 2.5. He's beaten him both times he's faced him this year. Cutter to the corner, 1-2. Although his last time against San Diego, which was in late August, it was one of those starts, where he's given up all those weak hits. I mean, he gave up 11 hits, which was a season high. And even though he gave up 11 hits, just 1 run. Not a whole lot of damage there.
You really never see him sweat. He's got such a great pulse. I mean, Justin Turner in the batter's box. We watch Verdugo as relaxed as he can go about his business. Manny Machado. Ryu's that same kind of guy who looks like he's just in a rocking chair, out there competing inside with his heart and his mind, but you just don't see it on his face or in his rhythm.
This year has served, I think, as a good reminder of how good Hyun-Jin Ryu was in the postseason, in the first part of his career. Today he's got back-to-back strikeouts, getting Reyes to chase a high fastball.
Well, after Buehler and Kershaw, all of these starters, I think, are competing for a spot at for sure being the #3 starter, the #4 starter in the playoffs, if that's where the Dodgers end up. And so I don't think you're going to see any lack of concentration because, you know, the game-and-a-half lead. No, that brings a lot of intensity. And then the fact that there's so much competition on this roster.
2 out for Renfroe. If you're just looking track record, Hyun-Jin Ryu, a division series in 2013. His first postseason start in the majors was not good. But in the National League Championship Series a week later, 7 shutout innings against St. Louis. Following year in the division series against the Cardinals, gave up just 1 run over 6 innings. And then, as we saw, as a great reminder on Monday, in those big stages, he kind of thrives. On a 2-0 to Renfroe, he gets strike 1.
He actually looks calmer the bigger the situation. In the last game, this game. Who's the closer that's stone-faced Buddha? That's
Stone, yeah.
Oh, it's
Sung Won-Oh.
But he's not a closer right now. Yeah, he's just a reliever. Yeah.
Stone Buddha.
Stone Buddha?
Yep.
Yeah. Ryu's face is not really like a stone face. He's more real friendly. And he's very approachable. He smiles all the time when he's not there on the mound. You know, he and Puig have their fun times, but he's a very calming influence when on the mound with this kind of rhythm. And the bigger the moment, it seems like he's right there with it, but calm.
Looking for a 1-2-3 first inning. He's got it. Renfroe didn't make any contact with that. Ryu strikes out the side in the first.
He's absolutely locked in and early. 3 Ks back to back to back to put these young Padres away. Now let's just see if the bats can get him some runs.
To lead things off, and then Turner hitting second and Freese third. Machado again out of the cleanup spot after his 3-run home run last night. In center field, Kike Hernandez, then Kemp, then Dozier, then Barnes, with 9 right-handed hitters going up there against the 25-year-old rookie Joey Lucchesi.
The curve is on the mound. It's a change-up slicing curve kind of ball. It actually is breaking ball if you ask me, but the off-speed is so great. And you know what? They're going to have to be very patient to make sure he throws it for a strike.
Chris Taylor watches one for a strike. They've seen him twice. One of the 2 times they saw him was the combined no-hitter in Monterrey, Mexico. And in that game, Taylor homered against Lucchesi. native of Newark, California, rocks and deals in 0-1. Taylor fouls it back, 0-2. Chris Taylor's having a really good month of September, getting hot at the right time. 368 this month, some big swings, including that walk-off home run, Game 2 against Colorado last week.
Very popular in the clubhouse, one of the hardest workers, and it's nice to see him start to succeed, make the right adjustments, and get some production.
Whoa.
That is a spiked curve. Either slipped and he grabbed it.
Let's check this one on PitchCast.
Oh my.
Oh.
I'm just glad that wasn't my first pitch.
I wonder if we did get that on StatCast.
Wow. My first pitch? No, we didn't. No, let's not go there.
We did. We don't like your spin rate, Oral.
47.
You've been traded
to Detroit.
1-2. I'll do it again.
So you got 91-mile-an-hour fastball right there. We've got to figure out a way to hit that and something that's going to be in the low 70s. Pick one speed or the other. Pick one height or the other if you're the lineup. And then once you get the 2 strikes, you got to battle.
So Taylor is right now waiting on another 1-2. Cutting and missing at that curve for the first out.
Third baseman, number 10, Justin Turner.
A lot of action in this game so far. 4 strikeouts.
Yeah. Rob Manfred covering his eyes at Park Ave in New York. With 1 out in the first inning, Justin Turner, who's putting together one of the best second halves in Dodger history. He takes strike 1. In fact, the only second half OPS better than Justin Turner's in the history of the franchise, Manny Ramirez after the trade in 2008. That's inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Manny, what he did, legendary. 17 home runs in 53 games. Finished 1 hit shy of a 400 average. And then in the playoffs, he was even better. Hit above 500. On a 1-1, Turner lifts it foul.
And that just gets to show you how much talent Justin has, how much talent Manny has, guys that reach those levels. The thing I appreciate most about Justin is I don't think he's leaving any of his ability on the table, where I think at times with Manny, you could see boredom creep in. You could see a lack of concentration. He was so good and the game was so easy that those moments of being traded to LA, having Manny Wood, then the playoffs, that completely locked him in and you got to see all of his talent.
Count evens up.
I think with Justin, he has had the battle for everything, and to fight his way into a job, fight his way then into being a starter, fight his way then into being a team leader and producing. That he takes nothing for granted in this big league life, and I think you see that in his off the field life and all the work he does around in the community.
Yeah, totally different paths to get to where those two guys got and have gotten.
Yeah, to the top of the list that you mentioned on great second halves.
Swing and a miss, 2 gone. That said, though, very similar in how easy they make it look just swinging the bat.
Well, it really goes to show that maybe it's not about like frothing at the mouth and expending all this energy. And we've seen really the other hitters in the Dodger lineup calm down to find production. Jock Peterson, Cody Bellinger, Kike Hernandez. We've seen them calm down in the box to all of a sudden become consistent and let their ability shine.
David Freese trying to put the ball in play.
It's a new wrinkle to the Dodger lineup, separating Justin Turner and Manny Machado, who's now on deck. And David Freese slipping in between them. Dave Roberts commenting before the game about how that makes the lineup feel a little longer. And as guys all get hot, instead of expecting runs out of just the 2-3 hole with Machado and Turner, all of a sudden maybe expecting other guys to produce, so you lengthen the lineup and spread out your RBI guys.
Well, the right-handed pitcher last night, it was Muncy that split him up. 1 ball, 1 strike on Freese. It's a 1-7-2. Hit 3 home runs in that game last night, and are now 25-1 this season when they do.
You know, in some ways, if I was attacking this lineup right now, Machado on deck has more of an impact than if he was at the plate. Because if he's at the plate, I can pitch around him, have 2 out and a man on first. On deck, I might have to face him if Freese gets on with 2 out and a man on in scoring position or at first. So all of a sudden, his bat has a little bit more impact after the first 2 hitters make outs.
Leads to David Freese seeing more strikes.
And it leads to Machado seeing pitches that he might not have seen until the 6th or 7th inning in a jam. I wouldn't throw him the same pitches here with 2 out and nobody on.
1 inning, 6 strikeouts. Just like you expected when Hyun-Jin Ryu went toe-to-toe with Joey Lucchesi.
Games coming up. MLB at Bat is your #1 app to follow the Dodgers postseason push. Get Dodger home screen icons, features such as live radio broadcasts, the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, stats, news, and more. Download MLB at Bat today.
Eric Hosmer leads off the second for the Padres. Takes strike 1 from Hyun-Jin Ryu. Rockies had the bases loaded in the first inning against Zach Godley in Phoenix and left them loaded, so no score to the bottom of the first there. Kyle Freeland starting for Colorado. Quickly 0-2.
Who's going to be the first guy to put the ball in play?
They're going to give him the Gatorade bath?
Probably going to be a Padre. We'll see.
Just high, 1-2.
If there's a strike that you have earned, it's these 2 starting pitchers has earned the high strike.
Jim Reynolds calling balls and strikes today. 49-year-old set a little bit high. It's a 1-2 that drifts down and away. That's in play and a base hit into left. Taylor hustles over to grab it and hold Hosmer to a single. Good play by Chris Taylor to limit the damage on the first hit of the game.
Number 27, Francisco.
Emergency swing. He knows it's going to be a ball and just trying to foul it off, check a swing, anything, ends up getting a single out of it. But speed plays everywhere on the base path to get a double or in left field to prevent a double.
Up comes the rookie catcher, Francisco Mejia, who is the return from the Indians. A trade that sent Brad Hand to Cleveland. A lot of people were surprised that the Indians would part with him. He's their top prospect, one of the top catching prospects in all of baseball. Pops this one into short left. Taylor comes on and puts it away for the first out of the second.
Shortstop number 13, Freddie Galvis.
One on one out. Here's Freddie Galvis, who for the second year in a row has played in every game.
Tip of the hat for that. That is just absolutely magnificent. Probably playing through a lot of aches and pains at different times, but does not want to come out. And for a team like San Diego, you have all the excuses in the world to take some days off. He's a grinder. It's awesome.
Longest streak in baseball right now. It's only about 2,300 games short of the record.
One of the topics that's always sensitive to fans and to teammates and the front offices is guys not posting up, not hustling, not giving it everything every day. And so you got to really admire Galvis and what he's accomplished over the years and continues to.
28 years old, 7th season. Hacks this one down the line, foul. First season in San Diego, over from the Phillies this winter. He was the longest tenured Philly before that trade. Become one of their big leaders, one of the most well-respected players in the clubhouse. But as the Phillies continue to try and rebuild, he goes from that rebuild to another, and one that's a step or two behind what they're doing in Philadelphia. Out of Venezuela. Signed when he was 16 and then made his major league debut actually when Chase Utley was injured. Hosmer first one out and an 0-2 pitch that Galvis pops up. Into that bright sunshine, Austin Barnes to the on-deck circle to make a stumbling catch for out number 2.
Oh, sunglasses, got to deal with the warning track and the on-deck circle. You got a high skies. We take a look on the Morongo slow-mo cam as Austin Barnes captures it. Good use of two hands. Normally one hand in the big leagues is fine nowadays, but when it gets outside your shoulders like that, you better use two hands in case there's a bobble. The gloves nowadays are made for one-handed catching. They are the old two-handed style you don't see at all. But when it gets really hard like that, yeah, every once in a while you'd like to have that second hand up there.
A strike on Manuel Margot, who celebrates his 24th birthday this week. Breaking ball, didn't miss by much. It evens the count up. Padres 62-93 overall. Half game better than the Miami Marlins for the worst record in the National League. Although they've been better the last few weeks. You go back to the sweep against the Dodgers in this ballpark in late August. Since then, Padres are 12-10. Hosmer off of first as the 1-2 comes home, and it's fouled.
A lot of change-ups from Ryu, a lot of soft stuff. Just spotting the fastball, really not pitching with it.
Turns it up and a foul ball. Do the 1-2 again.
Fastball off-speed combination right now is 50-50. Fastball cutter is the hard stuff, and the curveball changeup is the soft stuff.
Got him looking at the knees with the cutter. Ryu with his 4th strikeout through 2 in the final regular season home game. Fan Appreciation Day at Dodger Stadium to the bottom of the 2nd. Spotlight. Manny Machado reaching 100 RBI for the first time in his career with his 3-run home run in last night's game. On his bobblehead night. What'd you do on yours?
I didn't have a bobblehead until I was retired.
I meant today.
Oh, I got to throw out the first pitch.
And it was a
awesome.
strike.
I appreciate that.
He lead the majors in strike percentage.
Good framing by my son.
Yeah, he rates well in that. High drive, first pitch. See you later. Dodgers lead on a Machado home run.
One of the best off-speed pitch hitters in all of baseball. For power, he can hit the breaking ball, he can hit the changeup, or the combination of both, which he saw here today and planted out there in the left field pavilion.
His 37th of the year brings the crowd and Alex Verdugo to their feet. Kike Hernandez now. Lucchesi comes home. Hernandez takes the ball. Dodgers extending the franchise record mark for home runs in a season, breaking last year's. Hernandez punches a chopper to second. Corey Spangenberg throws him out. Lots of smiles as the Dodgers take the lead here in the second inning. Winners of 8 of their last 10. Matt Kemp to the plate with the bases empty and 1 out. Celebrating his 34th birthday today. Happy birthday to Matt. You go back to late August, really over the last month, the Dodgers 19-8. That's the best record in the National League. It's around that time that they swept the San Diego Padres, and the conversation at that point was, look, you're running out of time. You're continuing to try and gain traction, try and put together a good run, knowing that they didn't have too many opportunities left. The big thing that they've done during this stretch is take care of business against the teams they were chasing. Kemp gets under it, fouled, and it's 0-2. They went 3-1 against Arizona Oral. We'll see them against the Dodgers tomorrow. They went 5-1 against Colorado.
And you would expect prior to playing any of those games that the path to victory would be beat up on the Mets, beat up on the Reds, beat up on the Padres, and then just play a little above 500 or 500 against the teams you're chasing, and you should be okay. Climb right back into this thing or catch them, but that's not what they did. They just dominated, you know, Colorado, Arizona, and then you did okay against other teams.
And I guess they kind of bought themselves that wiggle room by being so dominant against the best teams. Casey's 0-2 is in the dirt, 1-2. And still, look, 7 games left, including this one, and a very narrow deficit. But in the position they are right now because of what they've done against the likes of the Rockies and the D-backs.
Well, the equation right now is the Dodgers have it in their hands. It's up to them. If they lose and Colorado wins today, guess what? It's up to Colorado. That half a game is in their hand.
Kemp turns on it. Left field. Forget about it. 2-0 on 2 solo shots. Happy birthday, Matt Kemp, on his 34th. He hits his 21st.
Back-to-back for the selfie friends. Lucchesi with one of the best chase changeup in all of September as he's pitched here, and the Dodgers needed to recognize when it was a strike and when it was a ball, and they've done a nice job getting that pitch up and whacking it.
Dozier, ball 1. And Matt Kemp says, hey Manny, I see your 100 RBI season and I think it's great, but here's my 1000th as a big leaguer. Dozier fouls it off, 1-1. And Matt's mom, Judy, in town for the bobblehead giveaway earlier this week, and she decided to hang around for the entire homestand, and so she could be around for his birthday. Inside, ball 2. Matt was talking about how healthy his mom is, in her 50s now. She's really taking up working out and very committed to kind of shape she's in. He said that he got her on that. He was kind of her inspiration, and then she served as his inspiration in recent years to try and get back in shape because he sees her working at it every day to live a healthy lifestyle.
Easy to have somebody hold you accountable when they are doing what they are saying.
Yeah.
Thanks for sitting next to me with your workout regimen and your healthy eating.
I'm here for you. Thanks for sitting next to me with your bobbling head.
On top of a big body.
2-2. Outside full count.
Well, we've seen that, you know, on the team even with Kike Hernandez this year with Chase Utley. Kike was on the pregame show with Alana yesterday and talking about how he's 2.5% different as far as body fat and how good a shape he's in because he went to Chase and said, what else can I do in the offseason? And Chase showed him his diet, more of the workout stuff. Kike talked about how a lot of players have good first halves and not second halves because they hit the wall as far as shape. And Chase Utley to this day, this being his last home game in a Dodger uniform, he still works out every single day. Where a lot of times an everyday player, a utility player, they work out maybe 3 times a week or once a city on the road trip. Every day Chase is in there working. And Kike does the same now.
Another payoff from Luke Casey, and Dozier swings and misses, but the ball kicks away, and this inning there's just one out, but this at bat, this trip for Dozier extends as he reaches.
Catcher number 15, Austin Barnes.
Luke Casey gets credit for his 4th strikeout, but Dozier's still able to reach. And a 1-out base runner for Austin Barnes. '25-year-old rookie comes home with the first one. Barnes takes ball 1.
Sorry, Joe. That's going to be a long day if he doesn't get that pitch. The fastball up sets up his off-speed pitch. Could be a lot more crooked numbers from the Dodgers. They don't get the high fastball strike.
Gets it there, and it's 1-1. Two and one. Luke Casey was the first pitcher from the 2016 draft to make it to the majors. Just a year and a half in the minors, never above Double-A before making his major league debut. Which is a cool note for him, but it's remarkable when you consider that as a sophomore in college, he was a walk-on, redshirting at a junior college. So he didn't have the best grades, didn't have good enough grades to be able to get into a 4-year school out of high school. And so that's what led him to the junior college route, but didn't really have any junior college interest. So he tried to walk on. He shows up at walk-on tryout, Chabot College in the Bay Area. Head coach had never even heard of him, but obviously, you know, with the size, and he was a good high school pitcher. He stood out, about 20 kids in the tryouts, and he made the team, but redshirted and didn't join the rotation of his junior college team until 4 years ago. So that was as a sophomore, pitched for a year there, transferred to Southeast Missouri State. Undrafted after a year there. Was a 4th-round pick after his senior season. And then 2 years later in the majors. His 2-2 misses up, and the count is full on Barnes.
That's quite a story. And he doesn't throw hard, but he's got an optical illusion pitch that with great arm speed comes in there and not only is off speed, but moves. Probably has a great head on his shoulder as far as competition and reading swings and opponents.
Grew up an Oakland A's fan. Going to games and watching Zito and Mulder, and boy, what a time to grow up as a pitcher, cheering for that team.
He's got a lot of Zito in his deliveries.
That's the 3-2 fly. Barnes fouls it. We'll do it again. Some think that that herky-jerky delivery of his is part of what scared some teams away early on. Taught himself that delivery. There are questions if it was repeatable long term. And some thought once he was drafted, whatever pro team took him would make him change, but the Padres wanted him to keep doing what made him him.
In actuality, for me, it's a very conventional delivery because he gets to where you want to get. He just gets there quicker and a little out of order that makes it pretty to the eyes and more culturally accepted. But he still gets his leg kick up where you want it, gets the shoulders tilted a little bit, gets into a position where he can deliver the ball very, very well.
It does, to the inside corner for his 5th K of the afternoon.
This does it in a jerk, a little bit like Alex Wood, where they do it a little bit more abruptly, a little bit like Clayton Kershaw when all of a sudden he's kind of jumping at the hitter, but they're loading themselves in a conventional manner, but just like you said, a little bit looks herky-jerky.
Funny you mentioned Kershaw. Kershaw's the guy that he calls his favorite pitcher. There's Ryu. And Lucchese's picked A.J. Ellis's brain about what makes Kershaw tick and tried to incorporate some of the things that A.J. passed along as far as Clayton's preparation and the between starts routine. It's the way he carries himself. Because the stuff's totally different. Both happen to pitch with their left hand, but completely different repertoire. That's in for a strike. 0-2.
Next inning, when Lucchese gets back to the windup, taking his hands way over his head like Clayton Kershaw. A few different things there that are like Clayton and a few that are like Zito.
Ryu bangs a base hit to left.
And just arrived at first.
When you hit it that hard, take your time, brother.
Well, when you don't have a home run, you know, you have to have a base hit trot. Can you imagine how slow it would be if he hit a home run?
I would love to find out. Apparently, on his home runs and pitchers batting practice lately, he's taken to flexing after each one of them.
Okay.
Turns the lineup over, gives Chris Taylor a chance here with 2 on and 2 out in a 2-0 game. That's a strike. One ball, one strike on Taylor. Just for a young battery having a hard time getting on the same page here. 25-year-old rookie in Lucchese, 22-year-old in Mejia. See what they go with on 1-1. Curve high, 2-1. Down the line foul. And Taylor has talked about his constant season of tinkering and of adjustments each day, trying to capture something in the cage in his pregame work, and often finding something during the afternoon that feels good, feels right. He takes into the game hopeful, but as the year goes on and he continues to search for something to feel good at 7 o'clock, hopeful at best. But lately, last couple weeks, pregame work has transferred over to the games. Able to watch this one miss low, and the count goes full. And hitting above 360 here in September.
There's so many impactful players and pitchers on this Dodger roster. So much talent that even the guys that have had down years or looking like they're coming into the end of the season, possibly the playoffs, cold, all of them on the roster can erupt and just carry the team.
Runners take off on a 3-2 that misses up. Taylor with a nice take to load the bases for Turner.
Unselfish at bat right there from Chris Taylor. And in scoring position, a ball that could tantalize you if you're willing to come out of your game, but no, he takes it and passes the baton to Justin. Might be a mound visit, but the fans are taking the time to inspire each other and the ball club, and especially Justin Turner.
Chance to bust this thing wide open. Struck out his first time, looked uncharacteristically uncomfortable in doing it. Roll back with Dozier at third, Ryu at second, Taylor at first. Only one of those guys to get a hit against Luke Casey is big 99. Dozier reached on a drop third strike. Ryu with a single. Now Taylor with a walk. And Turner pops the first pitch up to center. Margot shading his eyes from the sun. He's got it. And the inning comes to an end. But a pair of solo homers. Manny Machado on the first pitch of the inning hits his 37th of the year. And then on his 34th birthday, Matt Kemp does the same. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try something different like Jack's Teriyaki Bowls. Only at Jack in the Box for a limited time. Machado and Kemp both with home runs. And as this game goes to the third, the Dodgers have a 2-0 lead. Hyun-Jin Ryu back to the mound.
Ryu showing he's very comfortable in a 0-0 game. Now 2-0, even more comfortable, where one pitch can't tie the game up.
8-9-1 for the Padres. Corey Spangenberg leads things off and fouls it back. Now Ryu went 7 innings on Monday, struck out 5 in those 7 innings. He's got 4 through 2 innings today. And he's quickly ahead here, 0-2. Got him swinging, and that's 5 for Ryu.
Purchase 2019 season tickets to enjoy exclusive experiences throughout the season and guarantee your seats for great promotional nights, exciting matchups, including the Cubs and the Yankees are going to be in town. Receive 2018 postseason rights with your purchase of your 2019 season tickets. Visit Dodgers.com/season tickets.
Luke Casey fouls it off, and you see the update off of the Dodgers score there. The Rockies have scored first in Arizona, looking for the sweep on an Arenado double.
It could go down to the wire if he wakes up.
It's been impressive what Rockies have done after getting swept here.
Well, their bats had to wake up. They only scored, what, 6 runs, 7 runs in like their last 5 games, including the sweep. And all of a sudden they got a few more runs there in Arizona.
Buckles with Casey's knees, 1-2. Casey smacks a slow bouncer to Machado. Low throw, but Freese calmly picks it. 2 out.
Number 4, Will Myers.
And now Ryu ready to face the Padres for the second time. Just 1 base runner against him 1 time through. An off-speed pitch for strike 1. Now, we talked about Trevor's story. The news was pretty good news considering what we had initially heard, that it may be a season-ending injury for the Rockies shortstop. Myers swings and misses 0-2, and best case scenario, they hope to have him back to open that series in Arizona, but he's not played yet. So he's going through some baseball activities, but still no timeline on his official return to the lineup.
Sometimes diagnosis, or what you find out publicly about an injury, they kind of downgrade it publicly when it's at an area where maybe it's going to be good enough to play, so let's call it a sprain, or maybe it's a tear, or maybe it's this. And so they're probably rehabbing him knowing season's almost over, we're not going to lose anything if all of a sudden we try and avoid surgery or try and push it away if that's what he's going to need. So I'm sure they're doing everything they can, even if he's hurt pretty bad, to figure out a way to get him back on the field. Reminds me of a little Corey Seager. knowing that there's something there that probably going to have to deal with it someday. But if you can put up with the pain, keep playing until you say it's too intense.
2-2. Hooks it to left. Taylor's there. And that's the inning. Hyunjin Ryu on 12 pitches with a 1-2-3 third. Everybody gets one of those today. Off Joey Lucchese. Last of the third coming up with David Freese to lead things off. David hitting .320 in the Dodger uniform. His OPS above 1,000 with the Dodgers. Just to give us some perspective on that. League average OPS is about 730. Freese above 1,000 on a 1-0. It's a strike over the inside 1-1. If you're new to OPS, it's on base plus slugging. So a category that's a good way to kind of measure a player's full offensive value. On base abilities plus power abilities. On this 1-1 offering, Freese swings through it, strike two.
So on base, what, 350 is pretty good, real good.
It's good.
Yeah, and then slug, 550, 600.
It's really good.
Really good. So you want to try and bump up against the 1,000, or
if you want to be elite.
Elite's 1,000. Yep. Really good 850.
Yeah, I think that 800's a good landmark to say, that guy's having a pretty good year.
Yep.
720 being average, 720, 730 fluctuates around there. So 1-2. That's high. 2-2.
I think the biggest pushback from people who go, I'm just old school. I want to know about how many home runs, how many RBIs, what's their batting average, how many wins they have, what's their ERA. I think it's just learning those landmarks for the new stats, for the ones that come up more often, because you don't want to have to work at being a fan to baseball. There's only maybe 5% of the fans that really want to work at it and dive in. They want to enjoy it and know those landmarks a little quicker. So you go, oh, okay, so he's really good.
One gone here in the third on a strikeout from Lucchese. Time for the Coors Light refreshing finish. Manny Machado with another home run today. That is 2 in his many games here on Saturday and Sunday. Last night hit his 36th. That was off Knicks. And then in the first pitch last inning hit his 37th. To your point, fans don't want to do math when they're watching baseball, right? And there was actually, I don't know if you saw it, but in the New York Post, Joel Sherman wrote an article a few days ago about the shifting in what stats teams use to evaluate. and how those categories you were mentioning, the cumulative categories, have lost some of their luster, at least in the way teams are valuing players. That's strike one on Machado. Just because teams don't necessarily value the cumulative numbers anymore, Joel Sherman's point was that doesn't mean fans shouldn't be able to.
Right.
You know, which I think is a great way to look at it. Even though just because a guy drives in 100 runs doesn't mean he's a great player alone. That doesn't mean that can't be appreciated and watched as the tallies go up towards the end of the season. Something to track, especially for the teams that are out of the race.
It doesn't mean a guy that hits 7th that has 85 home runs is not a better player, because he's had
better.
Fewer opportunities.
85 homers is better.
No, 85 RBIs compared to 100 RBIs, but you know what you mean I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're right. But so then the club is evaluating a guy not on totals, but on opportunities and percentage of, coming through.
Machado down the right field line. Reyes, the big fella, a long way to go to catch it. 2 out. You know what I think would be a good category to become mainstream would be RBI percentage.
Yeah.
So based on the opportunities, because the knock on RBI as a stat category right now, putting too much weight on that, is it's so contingent on what happens ahead of you. How many opportunities do you have to drive in runs?
Right.
And so I think that'd be a good thing to see become more mainstream.
And if you walk, that shouldn't count against you.
Right.
Because
So
you've kept the situation alive. You have the same number of outs on the board. If the ball's put in play or you strike out, that should be counted against you. If you put it in play and get a hit, drive the guy in, yeah.
So it would be at bats with chances to drive runners in.
Yeah. And what if you got a hit, but you hit it so hard that the guy couldn't score from second? That shouldn't go against you either, because you didn't make an out in that situation, even though you didn't drive the guy in. So man on second, 2 out. You hit a bullet to left field. The guy only gets to go to third because he got a bad break. It's
So 1-0 to Hernandez. He's had 2 balls, no strikes.
I just think that's the, you got to find a place there that makes it fair. And when it's fair in your mind without having to do a lot of math, I think the fans accept it.
Strike one.
It's just like you and I when we do our prep for the games and get ready. We always like to know the data and all this breakdowns, and we're searching for those nuggets. But we always love the context. If a guy's third in the league, we want to know who's first and second. If we're going to say that this guy's really good against lefties, we want to know what is most of the league hitting against lefties.
Seen him do that a couple times. 3-1 on Hernandez.
He's leading the league in spiked curves.
Yeah. Name your favorite churve category, and he's leading. Here comes his 3-1. Hernandez pops it high into that bright sky. Hosmer's got it spotted, and Lucchesi has a 1-2-3 inning, bouncing back here in the 3rd.
top of the 4th inning. It is time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And with the exception of Jim Gilliam, the Dodgers do not retire numbers of former players unless they have already been inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. However, there are several players that have certainly had a major impact on this organization that are honored in a very special way next season. It's the inaugural Legends of Dodgers Baseball, and they were presented earlier today. Fernando Valenzuela, Steve Garvey, as well as Don Newcomb. Now, the induction will be next season, guys, but this is the first year that they've announced this, and certainly those 3 gentlemen deserving of the honor, despite the fact that they're not in the Hall of Fame.
All right, Alana, that's ball 1 from Hyun-Jin Ryu to Franmil Reyes. 2, 3, and 4 for the Padres here in the 4th. One thing that the Dodgers franchise does so well is celebrate its great history. It's popped up behind third. Let's see if Turner's got room. Reaching into the first row. You bet he does.
It's a true big league experience to come here and play on this field now, and this generation of players wanting to win a world championship like in '81 and '88. And when they walk into the building here and walk through all the guys that have won awards and the pictures and the history, not only do the fans enjoy it, but it's inspirational on a daily basis for the current Dodgers.
It's a cue shot fouled off of the batter Renfroe, but it's, you know, the Dodgers have as much history as any franchise in sports. And it's one thing to have that history, but it's another thing to honor it the way they seem to on a daily basis here.
They sure do. And I thank the organization. I know Don Newcomb, Steve Garvey, Fernando Valenzuela, and then you go to Manny Machado, who just had his bobblehead, and Matt Kemp, and all the others, and all the different things. Tommy Lasorda's birthday was celebrated up on the big screen, and they had the owner's suite, and he had hundreds of people stop by the owner's suite and come by and see him. It is fantastic to be honored by the organization and recognized as the fans love this. And they love the history of the team.
PK, little sparkle over the shoulder catch.
I think it was a little over the shoulder to keep the sun out of his eyes, so he's turning away from the sun and not. Oh, he took that one straight on. I think you see the glare, so he's going off to the side. So as he turns his head, a little angle on it, but might have a little Puig in that play.
We showed the Ring of Honor a couple times. Obviously, the ceremony this weekend for Jaime Herrín.
Yes, absolutely amazing.
With 2 out, Hosmer. Ball 1.
That went off without a hitch. It was beautiful. Alana did a great job hosting it.
Towering fly ball to right center field that sends Matt Kemp back to the warning track at the wall to make the catch. No big deal for Hyun-Jin Ryu. Needs 7 pitches to execute a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Fifth inning. Number 27, Matt Kemp.
Matt Kemp to lead off this fourth inning with the Dodgers in front 2-0. He contributed to that 2-0 lead with his solo shot that we look back on with StatCast AI, powered by AWS.
You got to hit it hard to get it out of here. He has. Ball's carrying pretty good on a day game with the wind blowing out. We might see some more of those home runs.
How about this? That's his third career home run on his birthday. Did it in 2011, did it in 14, and did it today. Takes ball one from Joey Lucchesi. That's 27th birthday, 30th birthday, and today is 34th. He's been with 3 different teams in his career, but all 3 of those days came in a Dodger uniform. Down the left field line, hooking into the corner. A homer and now a double for Kemp.
Home run was a tick over 107 miles an hour off the bat. This one probably hit pretty close to that hard, just not hit as high. A little bit more down the line. An easy double for him.
Just to give some numbers to what you just said, home run was 107 off of the bat. That was 105.
I've given up a lot of loud contact. I don't need a radar gun to tell me it was hit hard. Sound like Nomar now. He's like, that's hit hard.
I hear Manny Machado hit your first pitch out for a home run, at least on social media.
Well,
ball one on Dozier.
I would give our staff permission to show that home run that I gave up on the air if they wanted to. It's kind of funny to see.
Two and 0.
Check it out on social media under your Twitter account. Did you post that already?
I did. Sorry.
It's okay. You should have waited until I gave you permission.
Sorry, Dad.
Sorry.
Am I grounded?
No. Maybe a little less allowance.
Okay. Lesson learned.
Yeah. I think we'll be okay. Hasn't hurt our relationship.
Lucchesi's 2-0 is high on Dozier. Oh, a high strike on Dozier. 2-1. And Brian struck out his first time and is 4 for his last 50 now. Going back over the last month. Two and two.
Brian, another one of those guys that could get hot and carry you. I mean, think about the playoffs last year with Jock Peterson, Kike Hernandez getting hot. Nobody's expecting them to help carry the club deep into the playoffs. Roster is so deep with talent that can just explode at any time.
On a 2-2, Dozier takes it high for ball 3. If they are able to get in, it's going to be really fascinating to see how they shape the 25-man roster.
Who's the opponent? How's everybody feeling? How do we think they look with the eye test? What's the data tell you? It will be I think, a big-time debate between a lot of the people at the top. Dave Roberts and the coaching staff and the front office.
The 3-2. Dozier hits it foul off his foot.
And I say debate because I've been a pitching coach. I've been down there in those meetings in the organization, and it's a great open forum to sit around and grind it out, and everybody giving their opinion, having it valued, and having that open communication. Sometimes it comes down to a guy's pulse rate. You know, everybody's kind of a coin flip between the two guys and maybe the positions they play and what you need and who do you think's really going to be able to do it in the moment.
Kemp is second after his leadoff double. Here's another payoff to Dozier. Ground ball. Diving stop by Galvis from his knees. He throws Dozier out. Freddie Galvis, heck of a play for the first out of the fourth. Not just getting Dozier, but keeping Kemp at third.
Making an impact with playing every game and playing that hard with this ability. Fantastic play. Brian Dozier has done this to others at second base. Galvis at short does it to him.
Infield comes in for Barnes with Kemp at third and one out. Strike one. You talk about the selections on the 25-man roster, a lot of it coming down to who you wind up playing in that first round. And when you're really splitting hairs, a lot of times it comes down to even more specifics, the specific guys on that roster of the team you're playing. It may just be one guy that you have good numbers against. Ball on a strike on Barnes.
And they don't envision you like starting, but coming off the bench against that reliever.
Yep.
Right down to that one at bat.
Or vice versa. You have a pitcher who's exceptional against a key hitter on an opponent that you're going to face, whereas he may not have a role if you're playing somebody else. 1-2.
The number of relievers you're going to carry, the number of extra players on the bench you're going to carry. Are some guys going to be possible starters, but also in the bullpen? Other guys going to be strictly starters, like probably Buehler and Kershaw for sure.
Barnes hits a fly ball to left center field and deep. Renfroe turns and watches it go. Third home run of the day for the Dodgers is a two-run shot from Austin Barnes.
This time last year, Austin Barnes was getting ready to take over the starting position. Yasmani Grandal has been the one that really took over behind the plate this year with an outstanding year. Austin has struggled, but that felt really good for the third one of the year.
Ryu now, strike one. Third of the year for him, third of the day for the team. We mentioned it off at the top, but the Dodgers are 25-1 this year when they hit 3 homers. One ball, one strike. Barnes had a home run really early on this season. That's his second in his last 9 games. Ryu is 2 for 2. And 4 for his last 4 against the Padres.
Very rarely does a pitcher get to practice his base hit trot twice in one game, but Ryu gets to find his way down to first again. As soon as that hits outfield grass, he breaks the stride down, and Dave Roberts is able to clap a few times as he reaches first base. What an athlete.
Taylor now.
You wouldn't say that if you saw him walking down the street in street clothes, but here on a baseball field, he's impressive.
The dancing bear.
They're not holding him on, though, so I don't think speed is one of the qualities of his great athleticism.
He's going to show you. Ball on a strike on Taylor.
His secondary lead is a half a step. Needs to work with Chris Woodward and George Lumbaugh a little bit better on his secondary leads. That's better. He's been talked to.
He's been working on it.
Yeah. Hadn't been over there much other than the last week. 2 starts.
Chopper foul, 1 and 2. Taylor's 0 for 1 today. Has the lone walk against Luke Casey.
More fun to watch Rich Hill hit or Ryu hit.
Ooh.
Be a toss-up. Good Twitter poll.
Yeah. I don't know.
Exactly. Ryu will give you one approach, which is fly completely apart and swing hard. And Rich Hill would give you 3 or 4 or 5 different ways that he might try and figure out how to get on by bunting or slashing or running and swinging.
All with a slightly different stance and swing.
Exactly.
Grip on the bat. 2-2. Taken in the dirt, full count.
All done with the thought that this is my best chance for success. Not to make fun of the game at any point. That guy will grind it out. His goal is to be a tough out no matter how he has to look, but he looks more like a conventional power hitter, and then he spreads out and chokes up and just tries to put it in play with 2 strikes. I like our pitching staff's approach.
Second walk for Taylor. I'm going to give my vote to Ryu.
Really?
Between Ryu and Hill, just because Hyun-Jin's swings look like he's trying to hit it like 500 feet, and if he does hit it on the right spot of the barrel, he might.
He's going to win the vote if he gets one out of here.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Rich Hill's going to hit a home run.
Bob Guerin does.
He thinks he will.
He thinks he will. Here's Turner with 2 on and 1 out.
That's like Wikipedia. Bob Guerin says it, it's true.
Oh. Wait.
Right there. Bob's got it.
So if it's on Wikipedia,
no,
it's true?
No, I'm saying, yeah, well, it's true, it's not.
That's a little bit of a slippery slope.
Yeah, I better not go there. I don't read Wikipedia then.
That's okay.
Is that?
Yeah.
I don't do my research there.
That's actually probably a
good idea.
Not a bad idea.
It's a good place to start, though, to get some ideas.
For sure. You can find some links.
Yep.
Take it to verified sources. A mound visit here from Mejia. As Turner comes up, he was up with the bases loaded his last time and flied to center. Bob Guerin claims that he, as the bench coach in New York, knew that Bartolo Colon would eventually homer based on watching his pitchers batting practice each day. And of course, Bartolo did against San Diego. And he says he sees some of the same things in Rich Hill that lead him to believe that. Here's Turner cracking a fly ball to left center field. Margot and Renfroe converging on the track, and Margot with a catch for the second out.
First baseman, David Freese.
2 on, 2 out, David Freese. Strike 1.
Rich Hill's down there waving at you going, how could you pick Ryu? So he's like, I can't believe it. I know, Rich.
All right, I changed my vote because Ryu's out on second, and I'm not going to make it to him anyways.
He's not going to hear you.
Back up the box, base hit into center. Ryu chugging for the plate. He will score. And the Dodgers lead it 5-0.
Hosmer cut the ball off. I'm not sure he thought There was a chance to get Ryu. Lucchese dropped his head after Hosmer cut it. Like, oh, why did you cut it? This guy wasn't running that hard. We had a shot at my earned run.
Andy Green coming out. Dodgers with 2 in the second, 3 here in the fourth, and a chance for more with runners at the corners and 2 gone. It'll be Machado against the San Diego bullpen.
Ryu just legging it out. Oh, no, you haven't. Oh, better hurry up.
Power the drive. And by Carls Jr. Who's in, who's out, brought to you by In-N-Out Burger. Joey Lucchese unable to finish off 4 innings, and another rookie, Trey Wingenter, comes in with runners at the corners and 2 gone for Manny Machado.
This game has been broken open, but there's an awful lot of game left, so don't ease up on anybody, no matter who they bring in. It's not time to start thinking about going to Arizona. It's time to finish this game off and put up some more crooked numbers.
Score is still 1-0 in Phoenix, by the way, on the Arenado double. For Ryu, 4 shutout innings. He's got more hits than he's allowed. Machado on the first pitch that he saw today, homered against Lucchese. Let's see how he greets the right-handed throwing Wingenter. 24 years old, out of Huntsville, Alabama, home of his first one, and it's a strike. Taylor walked. Freeze singled. Overthrown, ball 1. Home run was a no-doubter, wasn't it?
The curve might be the same speed as some other pitches he's seen on the Twitter. He's so smooth, you know? So smooth, but so powerful.
It falls off the table, 1-2.
When he swings and misses, it sometimes looks like there's not enough effort in it. But when he makes contact, it's like, wow, that was so efficient.
And then when he barrels it up, it makes a sound.
Yeah, it's a different sound. A higher pitched crack of the bat.
What's that come from? Is that exceptional hands?
Well, it's got to be, back into the science. It's got to be about the speed of the bat and the impact it's making. But I don't know. Maybe what kind of wood? I mean, Puig has that sound too.
Opposite field base hit. Bringing home Taylor and extending the lead.
I think we should take a listen on the base hit.
And that's just a modest opposite field line drive.
99 miles an hour off the bat. But yeah, it's a different crack of the bat. Feels like, I don't know what it's from though.
They've batted around here in the fourth. Hernandez 0 for 2. 2 on, 2 out. Fastball. And a generous outside corner for strike 1. Lays off and gets ahead 2-1. Ball 3. You're talking about how impressive it is what Colorado's done responding to getting swept. Arizona, on the other hand, since dropping 3 straight here, actually starting with that, so since winning the opener here in late August, a National League worst 5-16, and trailing today, danger of losing their 8th out of their last 9. That's a walk for Hernandez to load him up. A team that came in here with so much swagger about them in first place. And if they lose today, they'll fall to within 2 games of 500. How about a bases loaded situation for the birthday boy? He's already homered today. Homered in the second and then started this inning forever ago with a double. Came in to score on Barnes' homer. Strike 1.
A little different velo in this situation. Matt's going to have to turn it up a notch. This is the biggest fastball on the San Diego team. Averages almost 98 miles an hour.
That's where Matt's been at his best.
He's very good at letting the pitcher supply the power and just staying calm and getting it started, getting the barrel in the right place.
Yanks it into left center, base hit. Kicked by Manfred. A 2-run single for Matt Kemp. It was a triple shy of the cycle, and the Dodgers lead it 8-0.
Up breaking ball. They were trying to go low and away. Got ahead with a couple of fastballs, but Matt didn't let him get away with the hanger. He doesn't hit it super hard. Puts a little top spin on it. All of a sudden, 2 more RBIs. The Dodgers continue to break this one open.
For Kemp today, 3 hits, 3 RBIs, 2 runs scored. Quite a line on this Sunday afternoon. Birthday for him. Now with men at first and third and 2 out, it's Brian Dozier, who was robbed of a hit his first time up for the first out of this inning. Wondering if he's ever going to catch a break. You know, only human carrying that frustration with him back into the dugout. So extra thankful that he gets another opportunity before he even has to go back out and play defense again. 20-some minutes later. Ahead 2-0.
You know, the peripheral numbers during his slump have really been on par with somebody who should be getting some hits. His hard hit rate is very good, but he's just not finding any holes.
Had one to hit there and fouled it.
What has really hurt him, I think, at times during this slump is the fact that he hits so many balls in the same direction. He's such a pull hitter, and shortstops and third basemen have been having him played perfectly, where he's hitting it hard but right at people.
Two and two. Now Brian Dozier, out of the balls that he puts in play, exactly half of them are to the pull field, which is the 4th highest rate in baseball. It obviously makes it easier to defend.
He's hitting a few too many ground balls, even though he's hitting the ball hard. So those are a lot harder to get through 2 defenders than just the left fielder.
Looks at strike 3 to the corner here, and that's that for the Dodgers in the 4th, but they get 6 runs and break this thing open as we go to the 5th. Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. And by the new movie Venom in theaters everywhere October 5th. Hyun-Jin Ryu has 2 hits himself. He's given up just 1. Eric Hosmer had a weekly hit bouncer that was inside the bag at 3rd. Back in the 2nd inning, but that's it. Hyun-Jin today with 5 Ks, giving a bunch of support from his offense. as this game moves to the 5th, and Francisco Mejia leads it off. Strike one.
Dropping that curveball in for a strike just puts him over the 50% mark for the curveball, but the cutter, the fastball, and the changeup have been exceptional.
It's foul, 1-2. Bouncing ball to third. Justin Turner gets to it. A jump throw. Mejia beats it out. Good effort from Turner, but an infield single from Mejia. Rockies have doubled their lead against Arizona with a run in the 5th. Gerardo Parra. Base hit into center off Zach Godley. Keeping the pressure on. That's fouled off of the bat of Freddie Galvis.
We talked about at the beginning of August was starting to get into scoreboard watching season. And you'd probably glance up there, you know, when I was playing, you'd probably glance up there every 2-3 innings, or maybe you hear an ooh or an ah from the fans. And you look at, now you look up probably like every other, not inning, like pitch. You just kind of glance out of the corner of your eye, see what's going on.
One and two. You know, so Ryu's given up the 2 hits today. Neither one of them classifies as hard hit, which is 95 miles per hour or above exit velocity. There's only been 1 hard hit ball against him today. We talked about this a few nights ago, but here's why that 95 mile per hour mark in exit velocity is so important. Batting average on balls 95 and above, 541. Anything below that, average well below 300, down at 218. So it's no mistake that there's not been any damage against Ryu so far with all the soft contact that he's induced. His 2-2 to Galvis is tap foul.
You put that in combination with a pitcher's BABIP. What is that? Balls in play.
Batting average on balls in play.
Balls in play. You get a combination of like bad luck or good luck. Was that outing you were talking about where he gave up like 11 hits, only gave up 1 run?
Right.
So the BABIP was probably really high, but he still was probably giving up a lot of weak contact. Now it's come back in line with the results he should have been getting.
And in some ways, BABIP, as you call it, batting average on balls in play, can be predictive if it's way too high or way too low. For Ryu, before he went on the disabled list, it was unsustainably low when compared to league averages and his career numbers. That's another soft base hit. Broken bat hit for Galvis. And so you figure there'd be some regression, and the other way around too. Like lately, it's been unsustainably high in a game like against San Diego the last time, where he gives up 11 hits, even with all the soft contact.
You know, it's great to feel that and project myself back into the career back in the 80s, to know that we used to have to be mentally disciplined to know that we don't need to change our pitching style. What's going on?
It's a pop up. It's fair. It'll be infield fly rule, and it is. Freeze makes catch.
You know, in the outings where you know you threw the ball really well, but you got, you know, nicked up in the game and you lost, and you know, you're not getting any feedback like that from guys coming down from the front office and go, hey, stay right where you're at. Or Coach Rick Honeycutt coming up to you and go, hey, stay right where you're at. You're doing fine. You had to have their own discipline there to remind yourself that I'm not changing a thing or going to worry about this. Just keep executing.
One of the things that we've seen come out the last few years is there's all this batted ball data as far as the exit velocity and the launch angle. Corey Spangenberg swings to the first one, strike one. Our expected stat categories, so expected on base, expected slugging, based on how hard you're hitting it or how hard the contact is that you're giving up, based on the launch angle. And we hear a lot of cases of front offices taking that information to slumping players and saying, like you said, don't change a thing. Your expected numbers, based on how hard you're hitting it, are really good. Just suffering some bad luck.
You know what hitters will do nowadays, and they did in my day too, is they will change their position in the batter's box. Then say, oh, if I'm hitting the ball hard and just in bad luck, I'll get it away from the fielders. I'll move up in the box. I'll move back in the box. I'll move closer to the plate a little bit. They don't like to do that a lot because visually then it changes their strike zone and they have to get used to it. So up and back in the box is better than in and out away from the plate, because that changes visually where the outside corner is, where the inside corner is. But up and back, you can adjust yourself to maybe start having your balls go through the hole. Get away from the fielders.
Yeah, so there's a stack of information that you hear front offices presenting to players and saying don't change a thing.
Yep.
But there's also little bits of information where it may be, hey, you're hitting it hard, but you're hitting it on the ground too much. You're pulling the ball too much. And, you know, offer a simple suggestion based on that batted ball data they have. On the corner for strike three to get Spangenberg.
And that's what players are looking for. You know, all the information is used at a different way at different levels. One maybe to value a player and see if the trade is worth making, or do I want to try and get this guy? Another for the player and how am I going to execute in the game.
Rick Honeycutt out for a visit with Hyun-Jin Ryu as A.J. Ellis is introduced as the pinch hitter and gets a good hand. Good year for AJ. Limited playing time. He's the third catcher at this point, especially now with the acquisition of Mejia and behind Austin Hedges as well. But when he's been in there, he's been really good.
If he still wants to play next year or not move into some role in management or go home and be with his family, he'd definitely be able to get a job. The way he can help young catchers, where he can help a pitching staff, and now showing that he can still hit.
Like how you didn't offer up a spot in the broadcast booth for him. He can go home, or he can be in the front office, or he can keep playing. Anything he wants.
I just don't think he'd be very good up here.
Oh, no, you're trying to bring him down. Oh, no.
No, we don't want to get him on the roster with Stripling and some others.
It's crowded. The line outside the door is longer and longer.
He might move the radio.
One away. You stay right there.
Okay, I was looking for a little encouragement.
You got a figurine of yourself sitting on the table.
You're doing okay.
It's pretty good encouragement. 1-2.
I still got the confidence of the guy who got cut from my high school team.
Got him. Halfway home on this perfect Sunday afternoon. Hyun-Jin Ryu and the Dodgers all over the Padres. Oral Hershiser and the ceremonial first pitch, framed perfectly by his son Jordan. He's got about a foot on you, Bulldog.
Sure does.
Millie, your mother's name.
Yep,
special.
Yeah, very special. You know, Players Weekend, they put Bulldog on my jersey,
yeah.
But, you know, with this being a special day, with Fan Appreciation Day, and thinking about appreciating the fans, but also appreciating my mom. We lost her to ovarian cancer back in 2015. She beat it for about 13 years, so I just wanted to remember her today. And my dad, who's still around with us, we love him. He's living with my sister, so no, Dad, love you both and appreciate everything you did for me for this life to happen. And a bobblehead. Can you imagine you grow up and all of a sudden someday you get to be a doll?
You pull it off well. Wow, look at that. Uncanny.
How's it working?
You do a good impression of yourself. Enough of us. Let's watch the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Austin Barnes leading off this inning against Phil Maton, new Padres pitcher. Barnes last time up cranked a 2-run home run. It's a sharp ground ball, but directly at Freddie Galvis for the first out of the 5th.
Second day in a row the Dodgers have messed up our score sheets by batting around.
Yeah.
I think we'll take it.
For sure. Ryu, 2 for 2 this afternoon. Over his last 6 starts, he's hitting .364. Wow! Corks one down the line and says, "Take that, Rich Hill." He is 3 for 3.
The game is not that easy. Absolutely fantastic. We take a look at this on Carl's cam. Ryu raising his average again. And this is a double for everybody in baseball but Ryu.
107 miles per hour off of the bat. And he's got his second career 3-hit game. First one since 2013. It's rookie season. If you happen to just be joining us, we're having going around the conversation, who's more fun to watch hit, Ryu or Rich Hill? Ryu making a pretty good case. He's the answer to that question. 0-2 on Chris Taylor.
It'll be interesting if Rich Hill, he's on the bench, so he's not getting to hear our commentary. Last time we talked about this, he got a little upset. He was in the locker room watching, was actually hearing us, came out onto the bench and was looking up at you specifically, Joe.
Yeah, I was in trouble for sure.
And because you went Ryu. But you now might have to switch back from Hill back to this guy right here, the Dancing Bear. And I'm reminded by Mike Levy, our producer, that that was real speed.
2-2 on Taylor. Pretty good reminder a couple weeks ago that you don't want your pitchers busting 100% on the base paths. Pedro Strop, who has become the Cubs closer with Brandon Morrow done for the season. Joe Madden let him hit for himself, and he pulled his hamstring trying to beat one out at first.
Ooh.
Lost for the remainder of the regular season, and they hope to have him back for the postseason. But at this point, the Cubs, while they have the best record in the National League, they have no closer.
Yeah, it's definitely a finer line, I think, for relievers than starters, because starters kind of train for this to hit every 5th day. But for a reliever that might get 1 or 2 at bats all year,
Joe Madden took a lot of heat for it. Taylor lifts a fly ball the other way that Franmil Reyes settles under for the second out. National League playoffs sure are going to be interesting. It's not like the American League where you have 3 teams threatening 100 wins for much of the season. 3 super teams, and then a 4th in the Indians that a lot of people are starting to really be scared of. There are no exceptional teams from start to finish this year. Like the Dodgers last year with the 104 wins. Looked like a clear favorite. You don't have that this year in the NL. It's anybody's game. That's why it's the message for everybody is just get in, and then who knows. Ball 1 on Justin Turner.
The Cubs are the only team in the National League with 90 wins. Everybody else below them, you're right. Very interesting. We always pin that 90 win mark as probably what it would take to get into the playoffs. Dodgers now at 86.
One. So 4-3 counting today would put him at 90 wins. Do you think 4-3 wins the division?
Ties the division.
Okay. So you see the Rockies then going.
Well, they play one more game than us.
6-2. Is that math right?
6-2 would be 8 games for them. 4-3 for us. Yeah, that would be. I think that would be a tie.
So that's what you predict.
Something like that is possible.
They have 4 with Philadelphia, 3 with Washington, and right now scheduled to miss both Scherzer and Strasburg.
You got a chance to go 6-2. That's what I would be planning if I was Dave Roberts in the front office, thinking like, okay, that's probably the record that. But one, if they get hot, and that's a challenge. Yeah, that we got to get at least 4 wins to be a tie and 5 to win this.
Counting today, and you don't want to put this in the win column yet. There's a long way to go.
Well, I would. I'd put this one in the win column.
Oh, you go ahead and do that yourself.
Okay, I will.
So then you're looking at a 3-3 road trip to tie.
Yeah, I think you need to have a winning road trip to win. If you don't have to have a winning road trip to win, then it's been a little bit of the Rockies have melted down.
Full count.
You know, these guys, they're just looking at across the field and saying, we got to win today. It's very short-term thinking. But I'm telling you, these conversations happen in the food room, on the bus, in the locker room. You know, when they're out to dinner, and somebody's speculating like me, and somebody shutting down the conversation and biting the guy's head off that's doing it.
That's a fair ball. Turner with a bullet that streaks into the corner. He's got himself a double with Ryu stopping at 3rd.
Justin has raised the bar so high here in the second half of the season, getting healthy, coming off the DL, producing off the charts. It's about time today he got a hit. We expect him to get one almost every time he comes up to the plate.
It's another 2-strike hit. One of the best 2-strike hitters in baseball. And Muncy to pinch hit here with runners at 2nd and 3rd and 2 gone in the 5th inning. Fouls off the first one. Well, all season, you know, the Dodgers locked in a pretty tight race. We've put our eyes on that final road trip. The 3 in Arizona, 3 in San Francisco, and thought, my goodness, you hope it doesn't come down to that. What you didn't envision is Arizona and San Francisco being the 2 worst teams in the National League in September. Arizona this month 5-15. San Francisco 4-15. Other than 2 on Muncy. We look at the Dodger calendar brought to you by Nissan. There it is. The final 6.
And when we talked about what's it going to take for the Dodgers to get in for a tie to win the division, you're right. Their schedule is a lot softer than the Rockies.
And then you anticipated it being for the Dodgers.
Exactly.
Still, regardless of San Francisco's record and how they're playing, Kind of figured they're gonna be up for that, with an opportunity to kind of have something to hang their hat on in this lost season, ruining their rivals' season.
Definitely.
Muncy pulls a base hit to right. It scores Ryu. Here comes Turner. Reyes up for the throw. Not in time. And double-digit runs on this Sunday afternoon.
Muncy with a dream season, and this is quite a fan appreciation day for the Dodgers. Everything they're doing is bringing a smile to a fan, giving away prizes periodically throughout the game. At the end of the game, they'll be doing that, and they are showing the fans a good time with the offense.
And now Machado's driven in 2 of the 10 runs with a homer and a single. Chases, strike 1. The odd couple. Both debuted in 2013. Anjun Ryu, Yasiel Puig.
Some would think that Turner Ward might be a little jealous, but I think he enjoys the break.
I think you're right. Down the line, gonna miss-hit it, and it's foul. We talk about the Rockies missing Scherzer and Strasburg. The Dodgers, as it lines up right now, would miss Madison Bumgarner. Bumgarner is supposed to pitch on Wednesday. Off day Thursday for the Giants. Do they care enough about ruining the Dodgers season to alter the rotation to push Bumgarner back?
They could do that, and if Madison has anything to do with it, he would probably want to do that. You know, you never know.
Right now, it's scheduled to be Derek Rodriguez, who's been their best pitcher, Andrew Suarez, and then Derek Holland. Here's a 2-2. Full count. So you mentioned the scoreboard watching here being a real thing that happens even among the players. Is that conversation a real thing in San Francisco going into next weekend? Like, we have a chance to ruin their season. We hate these guys. Let's go do it.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe the closer it gets, like a day away.
Ryu with another base hit. Dodgers with another couple runs to the 6th. 10-0.
Diego Padres in the top of the 6th inning. Joe and Oral just talking about the potential rotation of the Giant series next weekend. But what about the Arizona Diamondbacks? Time to look ahead. Brought to you by Wells Fargo. Here are the probables for that key series beginning tomorrow. Clayton Kershaw will go up against left-hander Robbie Ray, and then on Tuesday it's Walker Buehler against Matt Cook, and on Wednesday Ross Stripling gets another start. As far as the rotation is concerned, he'll go up against former Dodger Zach Greinke. And guys, I was just talking to Rick Honeycutt, gave him the thumbs up sign about the performance of Hyunjin Ryu. He said, yeah, we've really been working on his hitting actually, and then he did the wheels motion as far as his speed is concerned. He said he did a really good job stretching that double into a single.
And it goes back to the mound now to do what he's paid to do. Leading 10-0. Top of the order for the Padres. That's ball one on Will Myers. On this homestand, this is 12 scoreless innings for Ryu, who's been so good in this ballpark all year. Granted, it's only 8 starts, but his earned run average coming in, which has only improved so far today, and you get a look at wholesale substitutions defensively. His ERA at Dodger Stadium this season is 1.29. That's one of the 4 best single season ERAs in this ballpark ever. Joining Sandy Koufax, Hershiser, not Darvish, and Clayton Kershaw.
It's a nice place to pitch.
Myers hits one to left center field. Jock Peterson angles over and watches it bang off the wall. Myers headed for second. Peterson's throw not in time. A leadoff double.
Right fielder Julio Urias.
Here's Reyes. After the first extra base hit of the day for the Padres. One and all. Two and 0. Strike one on Franmil Reyes. We were talking last week when Kyle Freeland was here pitching against Clayton Kershaw, how Freeland's become a guy the Rockies want in the biggest games, and with each game being the next biggest for the Rockies, Freeland today 6 shutout innings so far against the Diamondbacks. 2-2. And he's only thrown 80 pitches, so at least another inning coming from him.
Yeah, with the resumes on the Rockies coming down the stretch here these last few games, you really look at the team and go, you know what, the offense is probably going to do enough. They have gone through their slumps and they were very soft as he came through here in LA, but it's one half of the pitching staff of the other. They're going to have to get a consistent starting staff and consistent bullpen to really make a run at the Dodgers. And that's the part of their team that could really let them down, I think, down the stretch.
We'll be at home for those final 7 against Philadelphia and Washington. Strikeout for Ryu. 1 gone in the 6th.
Give your child a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to play baseball and softball on this field here at Dodger Stadium at the Dodgers Winter Camp Series, presented by your SoCal BMW Centers. Train like the pros for 2 days alongside top Dodger minor league prospects. Visit Dodgers.com/camps to register.
What a cool opportunity, huh?
It's awesome.
Renfroe takes the ball.
First of all, if you happen to be one of the top prospect minor leaguers that comes in, it's great to be here at the stadium, even though you're teaching campers in here. And it's just a great experience to experience the stadium and to be teaching baseball and to see the looks on the kids' eyes when they get that top-notch information.
It's a dribble to right side. Max Muncy feeding Ryu, who wins the race to the bag, and he's doing it all today.
I'm sure the Padres will take a look at this, and so will we here. Close enough to watch a replay and see what happens. Ryu, this is the fastest he has run today, even though he's had 3 hits. Does he beat him there? He sure does. This is when you have to use your speed and go full out. You get 3 hits, you can just ease on into first and take 3 singles.
Well, Myers up to third. And Jose Perella to pinch hit for Eric Hosmer as Rick Honeycutt brings a scouting report out.
Brings the scouting report out. It's kind of a nice conference as far as information, yes, and he just ran over there and busted himself to get over there to first and give him a little breather too. Don't let this spin out of control. He's feeling really good about the way he's throwing the ball, the way he's hitting. Dave Roberts is going to want to get him up the tunnel feeling good. And so I'm sure this could end up being his last inning.
His 8 Ks today, matching 1 shy of his season high. Season high 9 against San Diego in his 3rd start of the year. He gets strike 1 in the pinch hitting Perella. Softly hit to second. Chase Utley throws to first and able to pitch around the leadoff double with 6 shutout innings. When you come back, Matt Kemp with an opportunity for the cycle. Against the hardest leg of it, looking for a triple. They'll have an opportunity after this.
Rick Honeycutt looking up here at the booth. I don't know if he's looking to family or up here, but we got a new pitcher on the other side as those two look into the stands. Rowan Wick on the mound. Ryu telling his family he's out. I'm going to go shower. We're going to go to dinner early. Rowan Wick coming in to get some work. The young man is getting some innings here for the Padres, trying to impress. You see that opponent's average of 357. Dodgers are trying to tack on and continue to have fun today.
Hernandez leading things off. Strike one. One on one. Well, the Diamondbacks have the leadoff man on in the 7th inning, down 2-0 against Colorado. The guy that's replaced Trevor Story at short, Garrett Hampson, committed an error. Allow the leadoff man on. Here's the 2-1 pitch. A pop fly to short center field. Spangenberg, it falls. And Hernandez, taking nothing for granted, has a double.
People have talked about a team error on a play like this, but that will be a double for Kike Hernandez. Some outstanding hustle, no assume in his effort. As this is a very tough play with the sky today. We've seen that here at Dodger Stadium in night games for the first couple of innings. It's a tough sky. Well, here in the day game, the sun blazing down and guys not being able to see the ball.
So here is Matt Kemp, homered in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th, singled in the 5th. Drives this ball to right center field, sending Margot to the warning track with room to make the catch. Hernandez advances to 3rd. And coming up is Chase Utley.
Second baseman, number 26, Chase Utley.
For what very well could be his final at-bat at Dodger Stadium, at least in the regular season. Strike one. Ball and a strike. You saw the impact that he made on the fans in Philadelphia each time that he's gone back there. It's amazing the impact he's made on this organization in a relatively short period of time. Came over in 2015. And is well respected, well regarded of a guy in the clubhouse and around this city. So fine. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And what a special thing for a guy who grew up in Pasadena, was born in Pasadena, spent most of his upbringing in Long Beach, dreaming of one day putting on this uniform. In fact, Chase, as a 9-year-old, was in the stands game 2 of the World Series in '88. It's 2-2. Wouldn't it be fitting if he got hit? I don't want him to, but
get a hit or gets hit. Yeah. I want this moment for him. I want him to get a hit so bad.
Grounded to second. Spangenberg. So it's Barnes, the man at 3rd and 2 out, and we go down to Alana.
Hey, guy.
Try it again. Alana.
Hey, guys, about the opportunity to just play here for probably the final time at Dodger Stadium as far as the regular season goes, of course. And he said, you know what? He watched his first major league game at this stadium 32 years ago. And he said, today will be the last time I get to play here during the regular season. He said it's bittersweet. And his wife, Jen Utley, commented also, she said, full circle, you have absolutely earned this. He's certainly taking in every last moment as it comes. And I said, are you sure you've made the right decision? Are you sure you want to do this? And he said 100%.
Barnes down swinging. Chase ready to go home and be dad to Ben and Max and be Jen's husband full time. Part of a 10-0 lead in this one as we go to the 7th.
With Matt Kemp as he spends an off day with Jimmy Kimmel Live. Plus, follow Jock Peterson to the Louisville Slugger Factory in Kentucky. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers, presented by Cadillac, Friday after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
The day ends for Hyun-Jin Ryu, and Josh Fields replaces him.
Josh working himself back into shape. One of the Dodgers' best relievers before getting hurt. Now that he's back, just trying to prove that he belongs in these crucial situations as we get down the stretch and then possibly onto the playoff roster.
5, 6, and 7 coming up here. Francisco Mejia will lead the 7th inning off for San Diego and fouled it off the hand, strike 1. So Ryu with the 3 hits today. First time in 16 years that a Dodger pitcher has had a 3-hit game at Dodger Stadium. Last guy to do it, Kevin Brown in 2002. Oh, and 2. There have been 10 guys that have done it in the history of Dodger Stadium. You're one of them. 1985 had a 3-hit game here. Here are Ryu's 3. All of them sharply hit.
He hit the ball really well. Used the whole field right there, the middle of the diamond, and this double stretched into a single, as Alana reported from Rick Honeycutt's analysis. So much fun as a pitcher to do something that you're not expected to do, where there's no pressure, and it's almost like back in Little League. Just to get one hit when you go out there every 5th day, and a lot of times you only get one at bat where you get to swing the bat. The other 2 you might be pinch hit for if you don't go deep into the game, or you called on to bunt so you don't get to swing at it. So it's pretty interesting to face somebody throwing 95 with breaking balls and change ups, and you get 1 at bat or 2 at bats a week off of that kind of stuff. That's pretty much why normally the pitchers don't look real good at the plate.
Here's a pop-up. We've seen the sun cause some problems today. Not for the Silver Fox.
Shortstop number 8, Javi Guerra.
Javi Guerra to pinch hit for Freddie Galvis. Ball 1. Well, the Diamondbacks put him at 1st and 3rd in that 7th inning. But Kyle Freeland was able to get out of it. 7 shutout innings, still 2-0 Rockies on to the 8th. Ball on a strike. Rockies trying to follow up the sweep here at Dodger Stadium with a sweep of their own against Arizona. One and 2. On this, the final home game of the regular season, do you have a favorite home moment here in 2018 that sticks out? No, they've kind of stacked up quickly in recent weeks.
Yeah, that's a hard one. You caught me when I was thinking about something else. Huh.
I'll give you time to think about it.
Yeah.
You think about it at home too. That's a strikeout with that elevated fastball. 2 gone in the 7th.
I was actually sitting here grinding on the 3 games in San Francisco again, and they're going to be important no matter what. There's no way we're probably going to have a 3-game lead on them going in, so it's going to be, you need to win.
Yeah, the only way that those games would not matter would be if the Rockies lost 3 of 4 to Philadelphia and the Dodgers won all 3 in Arizona. That's the only way that the weekend games in San Francisco would be meaningless.
Yeah, and so I'm sitting here thinking about, as a fan, I'm hanging on every game, no matter what. I am guaranteed excitement right to the very end of the season. Something that Dave Roberts doesn't necessarily look forward to, but I think the Dodgers would love to win it and clinch as soon as possible to get things in order for the postseason. But boy, it's going to be right meaningful right down to the end.
Margot yanks a soft liner to left center that Peterson cuts off and ends the inning. We stretch. He bobbles. 10-0. Here during the stretch, some of the players and the staff coming out acknowledging this crowd. And another season of leading baseball in total fans, 6th consecutive year. That matches up. It's somewhat ironic that it matches up with what the Dodgers hope is a run of 6 consecutive division titles. That back and forth relationship between the product on the field, the players in the dugout, and the fans in the seats, repaying each other as Alex Verdugo gets ready to start the 7th.
I think the presentation of the product on the field is really at a height too, because of Chase Utley's last home run or home game, the impact he's made. Dave Roberts, the impact he's made as far as the passion the guys play with and how prepared they are on a daily basis. I think the fans completely appreciate that. And that is a standard here now that is just a given, like it was in the years with Tommy Lasorda at the helm.
Colton Brewer delivers a 1-0, and that's high for ball 2.
What Chase Utley has done for the organization and the impact he's made on the detail and the hustle of the team, that living, breathing example, it reminds me of the impact that Kirk Gibson gave the team when he came here and put on a Dodger uniform. And Tommy was always that passionate, but sometimes it wasn't cool to hustle.
Base hit for Verdugo. Thought about extending that into a double, but instead hangs on with the leadoff single. So Julio Urias warming in the Dodger bullpen.
Stop number 3, Chris Taylor.
Oh, that base hit for Verdugo. He combined it with Hyun-Jin Ryu. The 9th spot for the Dodgers today, 4 for 4. And by the way, Ryu's .292 average now is 3rd in the National League, behind Michael Lorenzen and German Marquez of the Rockies. And it'd be the 8th highest for a Dodger pitcher since the move to LA. There's a 1-0 to Taylor. Hit foul. Up the middle, off for the glove of a diving Guerra. Verdugo headed for 3rd. They're at the corners.
Alex Verdugo playing himself into the conversation for a possible playoff roster. Very nice baseball clock as that ball gets away, scoots towards right field, but you got to adjust time and distance now. How much time is it taking me to run 90 more feet, and how quick can they get the ball to 3rd base? He reads it right about there and continues on. A very nice baseball clock by the young man, not hesitating at all, as young players might. Oh, I got to be careful. I don't want to do anything stupid. No, he played with his instincts and did well.
Here's Bellinger hitting for Turner. Taking one that bounces, 1-0. For Taylor, he's been on 3 times now. 2 walks and that hit. Saw you very conspicuously quiet there. We're talking about the best hitting seasons by Dodger pitchers. You're just waiting for me to bring up your Silver Slugger season. You didn't want to do it yourself, so I'll do it. It's inside 2-0. Well, I'm doing it for you. 356 in 1993.
I actually, when he said 8th highest on the Dodger uniform, I was thinking did somebody, you know, pass that. I know that the all-time one, I think, is Don Newcomb, because you said since moving to LA. And I think Nuke being honored into the Dodger legends today with Fernando and Steve Garvey. I immediately thought of Nuke, but I was wondering, yeah, that's a list of some pretty good hitters. I'll bet you Fernando's on that list. I bet you Dreifert might be on that list.
A walk for Bellinger loads the bases.
Thinking about pitchers that had really good years at the plate.
Don Newcomb for his career was a .271 hitter.
Wow.
15 homers.
When he retired, he actually went to Japan and played an everyday position and didn't pitch over there.
Played a half a, basically equivalent half of a major league season there. 81 games and hit 12 home runs for the Chunichi Dragons. There's Muncy, nobody out, bases loaded, 7th inning, 10-0.
I think Fernando was the best hitting pitcher that I played with. I got to see he could really swing the bat on a daily basis in the cage and then in the game. Tim Leary was a very good hitting pitcher here in the Dodger uniform.
Just looking at the year-by-year batting for Don Newcomb. 1955, he hit .359 with 7 home runs in 117 at-bats.
It's a lot of at-bats for a pitcher. Completing some games.
Calls in for a strike 1 and 2. 1958, Don Newcomb hit .361.
He has the all-time record, I think, for highest batting average for a pitcher with a certain minimum of number of at-bats.
.271.
If you can get to, you know, 190, 185 as a pitcher, as a career batting average, you're doing something. It's 200 is a very high water mark, and if you're talking 271, that's ridiculous. There's not many everyday players that hit 271.
Especially these days. Lowest batting average has ever been across the league. On a 2-2, Muncy reaches out, pulls a roller that'll get through for a base hit and bring home 2 more. Bellinger headed for third. The throw goes off of the dugout. He'll retreat to the bag with Muncy winding up at second. There's no let up. They've got a dozen.
The Dodgers don't care about how long this game takes. They've got a plane to catch to Arizona, but it's a charter, so they'll be waiting for them on the runway, all gassed up and ready to go. But these guys are having some fun swinging the bats today, shutting down the Padres. Ryu with an amazing outing, both defense and offense, and Max Muncy with another hit.
And Muncy in 2 ABs has driven in 4. Appearance is a short one for Colton Brewer. Dodgers with at least 2. The man at second and third his responsibility, and it'll be Miguel Diaz on for Jock Peterson. They chose instead Kaz Makita. Come on with runners at second and third.
You're going to have to gear down here. We said you had to gear up, but this is not a big fastball at all, but it is a change of speeds. This is right there with the churve that was on the mound with Lucchese to start the game. Fastball tops out at about 81, 82, but averages around 80, and then is what they call his slider. It can go as low as 59 miles an hour, 57. Awesome. That's a serious ephus kind of pitch.
Hardly registers. Jock Peterson, who has hit 5 home runs in his last 10 games, comes up here. Men at second and third, nobody out. Already 12 in the bank. 2 in the second, 6 in the fourth. 2 more in the fifth and in the seventh. Ball 1. One on one. Wow, there it is. Oohs and ahs from the Dodger Stadium crowd.
Move real quick and have it come out real slow.
Sharply hit to short. Gonna bring home Bellinger as Guerra throws Peterson out. It's 13-0.
Hitting for the Dodgers, number 17, Kyle Farmer.
Appearance here for Kyle Farmer. We're having that conversation the other day about strongest Dodgers, pound for pound. Walker Buehler headlining that conversation. Andrew Toles was part of that conversation as well. Austin Barnes, somebody that strength coach Brandon McDaniel talked about, is particularly strong. But Kyle Farmer is another guy. And Brandon figured that that's probably foundation of that is his football background.
He's changed his body composition since becoming a big leaguer. He's definitely gotten stronger, but he's gotten a lot more flexible. He worked really hard on his hip flexibility so he could be more nimble behind the plate when catching, and actually now considered a little bit more of an infielder at third base and can play a little outfield. Dropped some weight, got a little quicker, more flexible.
Ropes one. Nice stop by Myers. But it brings home Muncy. RBI for Farmer. And the Dodgers lead it by 2 touchdowns. And here is Toles.
'82 must feel like 95 when you know he's got something at 59 miles an hour.
Oh, and 2.
Got to be one of the largest gaps of changing speeds in all the big leagues. See 17 miles an hour with good fastball changeup sometimes. That's an exceptional gap.
And he uses 3 fastballs to get tolls, but the Dodgers get 4 more here in the 7th. 14-0 to the 8th. Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers.
All right, thanks, Joe. What a great way for the Dodgers to close out the home schedule of the regular season, putting 2 touchdowns on the board on this NFL Sunday.
Love the offense. Ryu, 6 strong, 8 strikeouts, but who cares about that? 3 knocks from Hyun-Jin Ryu. Impressive.
These guys will break it down after the game. Alana has reaction from the clubhouse. We will see you soon.
Fun way to finish up the home schedule, guys. And Julio Urias with his first outing in this ballpark. First outing in more than a year. Came on last Saturday in St. Louis, and Dave Roberts really liked what he saw.
Like the way the fastball was coming out of his hand. The poise is still there from the young man, and what a blessed day it was for him to return. He wasn't sure even throughout the rehab if he would ever get a chance to pitch again, but starting to feel more and more confident at the end of the rehab as the strength built up, the fastball started to come back, and now excited to be back in a Dodger uniform.
Saw Farmer staying in the game at third, and Rocky Gale doing the catching. Urias gets a swing and a miss from Spangenberg for strike 1. Julio debuted when he was 19 years old, May of 2016 in New York. Turned 22 last month. Guy that signed 5 days after he turned 16. And the Dodgers had scouts in Mexico City to watch Yasiel Puig work out. And they decided to hop in the plane, go a couple hours south of there to watch a showcase that Julio just happened to pitch in. They were mostly there to watch the catcher in the game. Those scouts couldn't take their eyes off Julio Urias. Signed him, immediately went to Low A Great Lakes. That signing came months after this ownership group took over. He gets a strikeout, the first batter that he sees this afternoon.
When you come back from shoulder issues, you've had some surgery, you're going to see the velocity creep back up with him next spring training, next year. It's amazing how the shoulder gets back in shape and the scar tissue starts to loosen up a little more. So what you see now is not going to be the end product.
Kaz Makita, third career at bat here. Takes ball 1. 93, good sign. Foul, 1-1. A ball and 2 strikes. Back-to-back Ks to start Urias' Dodger Stadium debut in 2018.
Make plans to attend Dodgers Fantasy Camp at the spring training facility in Camelback Ranch in Glendale, Arizona, January 13th through 19th. For more information, visit Dodgers.com/fantasycamp.
Urias out of Culiacan, Mexico. Local hero there coming up. It's a place that he's really proud to be from. Great pride in being Culichi. Started pitching when he was 5 years old. Dad built him a mound when he was 7 years old. Grandpa would catch. Dad would stand in as the hitter. And Dad would wear a glove even though he was pretending to be the hitter, just so Julio didn't have a fear of pitching inside. Didn't want him to worry about hitting Dad. 1 ball, 2 strikes. When he was 14, he was pitching in amateur games with his dad. Dad was his catcher at that point. That whole thing stopped, though. First time Dad took a fastball off the knee. We're going to get you a different catcher in here with some good knee protectors. The bouncing ball foul. Do the 1-2 again.
Blessed with the arm that he has. I'm sure that happened at a very early age. He starts throwing too hard for Dad to catch it. Dads don't usually like to put a mask on, so once they get to the point where they're like,
I need a mask.
I need a mask. I need shin guards. I
need a real catcher.
We need somebody your age. With his arm, maybe a couple of years older.
That's his 94 there.
Yeah, we saw a pitch at 95. It's like he's not easing into the outing as much as I think just like it when all of a sudden you get warm enough, the circulation gets to a point where you're just loose enough to cut it loose. It's not only having the muscles and everything feel good enough, it's getting through your head. The mental side of being able to cut it loose again.
Trusting it, right? Trusting that you're better.
Yep. Trusting your shoulder, trusting your elbow if it's been put back together. Allowing your brain to release your body to go to the ultimate level. And sometimes it takes the adrenaline and the situation to kind of remove any fear because you're just concentrating so much on getting a hitter out. And it's one of the things you have to mimic in rehab as you're coming back, that ballistic stretch of a big league pitch with big league adrenaline in the moment that you can't get in the minor league game. You've got to figure out a way to get yourself hyped up to have confidence with that effort level.
There's a 95 again.
You notice that he is pitching completely out of the stretch, so thinking that if I do continue on with the Dodgers, if they get to the postseason, it would be out of the bullpen.
He strikes out the side. 97. Whoa. Julio making a statement with a week left in the regular season. Officially today, 50,250 fans, and a total this season of 3,809,064. That is the second largest season of attendance in franchise history, 8th largest in the history of the National League. As we mentioned, 6th consecutive year the Dodgers lead all of baseball in attendance. With the offense clicking today, here's Chase Utley getting another chance, taking ball 1 from Kaz Makita.
That many fans coming out, that just enhances the experience when you're with everybody that's rooting for the same team. Everybody's having a lot of fun. Yeah, the players are on the field, but I can tell you from being on that field in a uniform, you fans change the moments by being here and cheering for us. What young man is in the stands today watching Chase Utley that someday will get to put this uniform on like he did back when he was their age?
Flies run the other way into left field. That is Renfroe. And that will be the final regular season at bat at Dodger Stadium for the Silver Fox.
Catcher number 58, Rocky Gale.
Ball 1 on Rocky Gale.
That moment reminded me of what you asked me a couple innings ago about favorite moment here at Dodger Stadium this year. I'm thinking now not very far back to the Arizona series and being capped off on September 2nd with Matt Kemp, the walk-off.
Yeah,
this place was going crazy. And to have Matt back, not expecting to contribute, not expecting him to be an all-star.
1-2 on Gale, making his big league Dodger debut against his old team here. Yeah, the whole weekend we kind of kick-started this current stretch. The Dodgers are about to move it to 20-8, starting with the 3 consecutive wins after dropping the opener against Arizona. That gets in on Gale and a little teardrop that Makita grabs for the second out. Julio going to hit for himself. They want another look at him. Top of this inning, in the top of the 9th.
Well, he's checked some boxes already. Healthy, can warm up in time to get out there, can throw the ball 97. That's a pretty big check in a box. The next check is they're looking for, okay, can he maintain the stuff into the 2nd inning? What's he like after he warms up again and goes back out there? It's going to be a little easier with the lighting the way it's going to be. Might have been instructed not to even swing the bat. Just stand up there. Don't get hurt. If it's at you, get out of the way. I think that's with instructions.
Yeah, go back out there for another inning of work on the mound. All Dodgers on this Fan Appreciation Day. Paying it back. Great work from our production crew today and through this series and through this season here at Dodger Stadium. Still with 6 more games in the regular season, but our final one today with our home production crew, who we are so thankful for. And you sitting at home, maybe without even knowing it, you are too. The pictures we get to watch put on the air. Our crew led by Mike Levy, the producer, Dustin Denty, the director, and then here in the booth, the boss, Boyd Robertson, the stat man, Rick Krajewski, and so many others that put these shows on the air each night. It's the best local crew in baseball. 14-0 game to the 9th inning. Franmil Reyes, the hitter. And we get another look here at Julio Urias, who struck out the side and touched 97 in the 8th.
He's been impressive. Strike throwing ability. Doesn't seem like there's a lot of nerves, but we've always seen the poise in this young man prior to him getting hurt. So I would say that the 97 we saw, of course, is his fastball. Some of these 90s and 91s seem to have a little cutting action on them. And that last one at 76 was his curveball.
Reyes shoots it foul, 2-1. And if he continues to look how he looked in the 8th inning here, and another opportunity here in the 9th, it does create an interesting conversation. The obvious hurdle for Julio Urias trying to make the postseason roster as a reliever is how quickly can he recover. Swing and a miss, 2-2. This is his 2nd appearance in the big leagues this year, but they gave him more than a week of rest. The first one came last Saturday. So tomorrow is going to be very telling how Julio feels when he comes off of these 2 innings. At the current rate, you use him in game 1 or 2 and he's done for the rest of the 5-game series, more or less. Picked up a short by Chris Taylor, and he's retired the first 4 that he's faced.
Yeah, the workload in the playoffs, if you're a hot hand, could be 3 out of 5 days with a back-to-back in there somewhere with the off day when you're traveling to the other city. And if you're not on the first round and the Dodgers, let's say, make it past the first round, all of a sudden the roster can change again. So there'll be some guys that stay in shape and keep working towards the goal of contributing in October.
Strike 1. The fastball 93 with a little bit of help of the shadows potentially now by the swing of Renfroe. A good test in a couple ways. And up and down, he gets to come out for his 2nd inning, and he's got to face the heart of the order. Renfroe with a base hit into center.
First baseman number 2, Jose Pereira.
Dodgers are going to take 14 of the 19 games from San Diego this year. The Padres will fall to 90 or 62 and 94. So Jose Pereira comes up and looks at a first pitch curve for a strike. Flipped into right center. Bellinger. 2 out.
Julio breaking out the changeup, showing all the different pitches that he's capable of throwing.
Catcher number 27, Francisco Mejia.
And now Mejia. This is kind of sad.
It's gone very fast.
Yeah.
Early in the year when they were struggling, it was
Not going as fast.
Yeah, it's going a little slower.
And that's selfishly on our part. Obviously anticipate more games in this ballpark this year. From a selfish standpoint for a moment. Sad that it's the last time we'll sit in these chairs this year. Fouled off, 1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers put on quite a show here for the home fans in the final regular season game here this year with 14 runs on 16 hits. 6 shutout innings from Hyun-Jin Ryu, who contributed 3 of those 16 hits. We got a scoreless 7th from Fields and looking for a couple of scoreless innings from the kid. Who delivers 1-1 and gets strike 2 with a high fastball.
All in all, it's been a day that the fans can appreciate and the Dodgers appreciate them. Dr. David Kipper right there on the front row, right on the edge of the Dodger dugout, always there.
The 1-2. That's it. Julio Urias with a pair of scoreless innings and 4 Ks sprinkled through there. And the home schedule comes to a close with a 14-0 rout over the San Diego Padres.
Beautiful day for the Dodgers, and especially beautiful for Manny Machado, Matt Kemp, and Mr. Ryu. Fantastic day.
Time now for the player of the game, brought to you by Lexus. Happy 34th birthday for Matt Kemp. And Hyun-Jin Ryu, 6 scoreless innings in this game. You get to see some of his hits. I don't know what we like more, the shutout innings or the 3 bullet hits. 2 bullet hits and that ground ball up the middle.
It was a great day for you, great day for the Dodgers. A lot of fun this year. We're going to talk to you from the road.
Rockies are 2 outs away from finishing off a shutout of the Diamondbacks and a sweep of Arizona, keeping the pressure on and making for a pressure-packed, drama-filled final week of the season. Earl Hershiser, Alana Rizzo. One final time, the rest of our wonderful crew. Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium.